Hello everyone, today is a little bit of a different video. So it's kind of, I guess, story time. I've mentioned in my previous videos, I've mentioned that I've been suffering from headaches. They have been, over the last few days, last 2 or 3 days, they have been much better. I did have about a week and a half where they were really horrendous and they really stopped me doing anything. The pressure in my head was unbelievable. Almost like sometimes it felt like my head was going to explode. Another weird thing that's been happening to me, coinciding with the headaches, is my feet are turning purple. This is only happening when I sit down for more than 5 minutes or stand up for a few minutes. If I stand still, my feet start changing colour. And there's been a new colour development, so they were kind of going blue, purple, black. But yesterday I noticed there's some blotches of an almost fluorescent orangey pink colour. So it's all very weird and it's all been at the same time. I thought I'd solved the problems. I have been to the doctors several times. I've done a urine test to rule out an infection because I have previously had an infection that I didn't know about, but it caused headaches. This was last year. And it was solved with antibiotics. This time there's no infection found and we don't really know what's causing it. So the doctor has arranged for me to have an MRI scan, and I got a call yesterday to say they've got a couple of cancellations at the hospital today. So I'm going for an MRI scan today. However, the weird connection between my feet turning purple and my headaches, I don't think is going to be found in my head. I think that it might be carbon monoxide poisoning because I work 12-hour shifts at my desk situated right next to the gas fire, which has also got the boiler in it. I've got a really old-fashioned system here which is called a back boiler, and that means the boiler is something like 30 or more years old, I think. And apparently they're not very safe and they're not allowed to be installed anymore. So when I finally get to change this boiler, it will have to be a different kind of boiler in a different place in the house. So I've been sat for 12-hour shifts next to this boiler. Now I've got a couple of confessions to make that are pretty stupid. So first of all, when you have a back boiler, it's a legal requirement in your house to have a vent. And I've got this big hole in my living room that's maybe about that big, and it's just got a plastic vent across the front with some rows of plastic across it. In pretty much, unless it's a hot summer, that room is always freezing because of this vent. And silly me, I've got to own this, stupid me, I've had that vent blocked for months since I think probably since it started getting cold last year. I've blocked that vent up. I put a piece of, it's kind of like a bit like a serviette or tissue paper. I put some tissue paper across the hole and then the plastic vent back on it. And I thought that the tissue paper would still allow some air to come through. So that's what I told myself. So that vent has been blocked. Now another stupid thing that I have done is the batteries went on my carbon monoxide monitors, alarms. There's one upstairs, one downstairs. The battery went last year on both of them. It started doing that noise and telling you it needs to change the battery. I got new batteries, but every time I put the battery in, it told me to press the test button and then it wouldn't stop alarming. So I couldn't get them to shut up and the noise was really, really loud. So I knew that I needed to sort that out, but I didn't get around to it. So here's what's been going on. I've been sat next to this really old boiler with a vent shut off in the room and no carbon monoxide alarms. And it didn't really occur to me, but I texted my friend Cheryl and said, I've been getting these headaches. And she said, well, I take it you've had your boiler service recently. No, I haven't. Although I have had the engineer out twice in the last 6 months for heating problems, but not for a service on the boiler as such. And she said, I take it your carbon monoxide alarms are working. And again, no. So suddenly, and I was laying in the bath at this point, I had a really bad headache. I'd gone just to lay in the bath, and I was laying there thinking, shit, this might be it. I might be right now in a house that's poisoning me. So I unblocked the vent and I turned off the boiler and opened the windows, aired the place out a little bit. And that night I slept well and I woke up with no headache. And I have felt much better since then. I did call my heating engineer and I spoke to them on the phone. They don't think that the problem is going to be carbon monoxide, and they told me to unblock the vent, which of course I already did, and to get a new carbon monoxide monitor, which again I already had done. And he said put the boiler back on with the new alarm in the room and see what happens, and the alarm did not go off. So I feel like all my symptoms, everything I've had, so not just the blue feet, the headaches, I've also had stomach problems and I have been nauseous. I haven't actually thrown up, but I felt quite sick at times. I felt very weak. Sometimes I can feel my heart racing in my chest, and the worst of these symptoms have all happened in my house. The worst of them happened when I was in my front room. So I think that maybe I've been slowly being poisoned by carbon monoxide over a period of time. Let me have a sip of coffee now. But I'm going to go and have this scan on my head just to rule it out. And I did ask the doctor for a blood test to see, because I am worried about long-term effects on my health, because my feet are still turning purple. So potentially there's something weird going on. I have been told by another friend that I need to rule out diabetes and problems with liver or kidneys and that kind of stuff. But I've been more worried about my head and up until this point. So I didn't want to overload the doctor with all my complaints, because the feet they were a worry, but they weren't getting in the way of life. The headaches got in the way of life. So where was I going with this? So I'm going to go and have this head scan anyway, see what happens. I'm going to sort of keep you updated on today. I don't know if I'll end up posting this video because it's so off topic, but just to bring it onto the topic of fragrance, today I'm going to wear this oil. So it's Tom Ford Neroli Portofino body oil. I'm going to wear that on my arms. I've got a bit of a moisturiser on. It's just an Artisan, because I didn't want anything too scented. All my body lotions at the moment are very scented ones. I need to get an unscented one, because when you want to review fragrances and put your opinion out there, you need to make sure that you're not using other products that are scented with something that could interfere with your experience of the fragrance. You know what I mean. I don't need to really explain. Yeah, I've got a little bit of Artisan lotion because it doesn't have too much of a strong smell, because I wasn't sure what I was going to wear, whether I was going to wear something to review, but I've decided not to wear something to review today, so I'm doing this. So Tom Ford Neroli Portofino body oil. It has this lovely fresh orangey, slightly green, zingy scent to it. I really enjoy it. It's very uplifting and very moisturising. It's sunk into my skin. Excuse the scars on my arms. It's sunk into my skin very well, and I might put a little bit here as well. There we go. And on top of that, I have a perfume, which I'm going to show you now. So for the MRI scan, I had to look up the advice, because I wasn't given any specific advice except where to go and where to park. And I looked it up, and actually there's not too much to think about, except you shouldn't wear jewellery or anything metal on your clothes. So my trousers are tied up with they're just I'll show you. Trousers get tied with this, so there's no belt. And I've gone for no bra, because bras have little metal bits. Even if you don't have an underwire bra, they have little metal bits in the back to do them up. So I thought, well, I don't want to have to take my bra off when I get there if they tell me to. So no bra, I've got 2 tops on, and I've got a cardigan which I'll wear over the top. So today's fragrance is discontinued Miss Dior Cherie. I like this one as a really lovely all day, everyday versatile fragrance. It's a shame it's discontinued. It's a little bit, I think it slipped out of my hands because my hands are oily. It's a little, it's a bit fresh and citrusy and fruity, which would work with the Neroli Portofino oil. But there's fruitiness as well there's a strawberry note, but it's kind of like a sharp strawberry. It's not a sugary, sweet, really synthetic strawberry. It's also not particularly natural strawberry, but just kind of like a sharp strawberry. It's a really musky fragrance. I love the muskiness of it. And there's some florals. I think it's just a little concoction of white florals, but it's not a really heady, screechy white floral. It's more of an uplifting, fresh floral scent. So I really enjoy it, and it's just an easy breezy fragrance to wear for a hospital appointment. That yeah, I never thought I would have an MRI scan. It's kind of exciting, slightly nervy. As I said, I'm not worried about the results. I don't think they're going to find anything, but it's a thing that I've not done before. So, you know, there's always a bit of nerves involved in doing something new, isn't there? So let's leave it there, and I'll let you know how I get on. So I'm at the hospital now. It's a mobile unit. It's like a big lorry in the car park. They are running a bit late, so they've just taken the next patient in, who was waiting in a car opposite me. So however long that takes, I'll be here waiting, and then I should be the next one to go in. Okay, so I'm done. I came straight home because my bladder was bursting. So top tip, if you are going to go for an MRI scan, definitely do a wee before you go, because by the time I drove there, which is only about 20 minutes, then there was a little bit of a wait, not too long. And then, yeah, by the time I was sort of ready to go, I was really kind of desperate for a wee. So I sat through the procedure with my bladder killing me. So I totally recommend that you don't do that if you are going to go for an MRI scan. In terms of how the scan was, it wasn't too bad. I think I was only in there at probably about 20-25 minutes, and it's only my head. So my head was resting inside something kind of, it wasn't keeping it from moving, but a little bit, I guess. So it was easy to keep my head still. And then it's a bit like being on a building site. There's a lot of vibration, lots of different noises, and you've got headphones on that was playing the radio, but then the radiographer could talk to you through the headphones, and they would just let me know next one's going to start, try and keep still. I think they checked on me once and said, are you okay? So it was all absolutely fine. Quite loud, the last one was very vibration-y, so it was like shaking my head, and then like it would shake of where the body was. You could feel kind of movement, as if sometimes it felt almost like there was someone in the room moving around, but I guess it's just moving parts in the machine that feel like that. But it was fine, absolutely fine. I could feel heat building up at one point in my shoulder, which was really weird. So I don't know if that's to do with the magnets or what, but and I got a couple of almost like electric shock type feelings in my shoulder and somewhere else, but nothing bad at all. It was absolutely fine. So if you're someone that's going to have to do one and you're nervous about it, honestly, you really don't need to be. I don't think it would make you too claustrophobic, because you can see, and there's a mirror in front of your face that shows you the radiographer in the other room, and you can see your legs and your feet as well. So it wasn't too bad at all. So I'd have absolutely no hesitation in doing it. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't be worried at all. So I didn't hear anything about what they saw or what they've recorded or whatever it is they do. So I guess I'll hear back from the doctor at some point to let me know if they found anything. So I'll let you know. Hello, so I'm back. It's actually about 2 weeks now since I went for the MRI scan, and I've spoken to the doctor today. They've got the report from the MRI scan, and the good news is there's nothing serious on there, so they're pretty confident there's no worries about things like tumours and what do you call them? Not sure. But there's nothing too serious looking. There is something they've picked up. I can't quite understand, I can't remember the terminology. Changes was the word, which I found strange. They've picked up changes on the scan or on the brain, and there's something that looks like migraines, but there was a word used by the doctor that I couldn't quite understand. So what's happening is I'm going to be referred off to neuropathy, and it's just going to be looked into a little bit further. So the good news there is nothing too serious has been picked up. There is something that's been picked up, and it's going to take quite a while till I get that appointment because it's quite a busy department at the hospital. So in terms of everything else, well, look, I've had my hair chopped off and I had my eyebrows tattooed. So it's actually microblading that I had on the eyebrows. They're healing at the moment, so they're not finished. They're not where they should be. But here's the hair. And my health, I've started getting headaches back again. So when I started recording this 2 weeks ago, the worst of the headaches had really calmed down. I have started getting headaches again. But not too heavy at the moment. I had a mild headache all yesterday afternoon. I've had mild headaches today as well, on and off, just being back to bed for a little sleep. But lots of things are happening. I've had a blood test. That was just today. Yep, I had a blood test today. I did have a blood test, or was supposed to have a blood test Wednesday. They couldn't get any blood out of me. I'm dehydrated apparently, so I was instructed to drink tons of water and come back for the blood test today, and she really struggled to get blood out of me still, despite drinking so much water. It was ridiculous, and you can't even see my veins in my arms. They're so small or buried or whatever. So I'm dehydrated. I've woken up with that in my eye, a burst blood vessel. So I think I'm a little bit generally under the weather. I have been given some antibiotics because I think I might have that. I was talking about bladder infection that I had before that affected my head, that was giving me headaches. And they did have, when I did do a wee test before, they did find some leukocytes. I guess they're extra leukocytes, because apparently you should always have leukocytes, which is white blood cells. But I think I might have had a bit too many. So they didn't offer me antibiotics when they did that test. And so I've done another test because that was supposed to have been, that urine sample was supposed to have been sent off for analysis, but it appears it might have got lost in the post or something. So I've done another one today as well. It's been a busy day today with the doctors and the chemist and whatnots. So but the doctor has given me some antibiotics, so fingers crossed that solves some of my issues. My feet still go purple. I doubt antibiotics is going to stop my feet from going purple, but yeah, I've got more appointments booked as well. I'm going to have my kidneys scanned. That's not for another couple of weeks, and I'm waiting on confirmation of an appointment with the vascular department at the hospital, and that's regarding the feet turning purple as well. But I have been suffering on and off. Nothing really bad. Like, I'm not completely I'm not having to just lay in bed all day long. I'm functioning, but I do really struggle sometimes. I feel very tired. Headaches come on. I can feel a bit lightheaded sometimes. Get stabbing pains in my kidneys and sometimes in my chest. So I feel like, I mean, I know COVID is obviously has been a big drain on NHS, but I feel like personally like a drain on the NHS is just this walking sack of random symptoms. So, but I mean, it's great. They're really trying to find out what's wrong, and I really hope that we get to the bottom of it soon. The blood test results will come back next week. Maybe there'll be an answer there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that I don't really know if this is going to be a useful video for anyone, but maybe if you're a medical expert, you can put all my random symptoms together, and maybe you can come up with an idea of what might be my problem. But that's it then, and I will see you in another video if I haven't scared you off my channel.